You're listening to the Go Lightly Martial Hour on freedomtalkradio.net. freedomtalkradio.net.
All right, hi guys, we are back.
And the front as well.
And the front as well, absolutely. Yara in his beautiful, colourful shirt, pink, yellow, reds, splashes
We
of
bought
brown.
this locally, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Lowe's. The
It's
men's
actually a
store.
very good shirt, very well made. Not
Well,
so much flimsy things.
they are. But it's this fabric that you don't like during the summertime because it
doesn't breathe.
It doesn't breathe very well, but anyway, you've got a few of those that are good for winter, which is the time now. And it feels like we're talking to a great big empty because there's nobody in the chat room yet. Anyway, we'll just continue. Today is July the 22nd. Oh, this is the day in my life, 11 years ago, when I was thrown out of the home in Canada. Oh, good. Never to go back. And it's 12:04 p.m. This is... Did I say the date? I did. July 22nd,
Yeah,
2015. 2015. This is for the archives and the records. It is just a little after midday. We've been to Papua New Guinea for just 1 week. Back again yesterday.
Very successful.
Yeah, I've been saying... People have been asking... I actually said... confusing. However, now that we're back here, it all totally makes sense because we're dealing with.
Well, it's angelic forces.
Yes.
When we first went to Papua, the first night there, the expense was astronomical, and I got the horrors with the place, and I said, "That's it, angels. Either pull your finger out, or we're leaving tomorrow." In the morning, we walked downstairs and having all of the AIDS. Representatives throughout the South Pacific were having a conference.
This was the next morning, yes.
In the same.
We're walking around the Sandwich Board National AIDS Conference.
So,
hello.
It gave me the opportunity to talk to these people momentarily, and the man that was running it wasn't impressed when I told him what we were actually able to do. But I made it a point to 60 or so people sitting there, mainly women, nurses from all across the South Pacific and all over the country of New Guinea. I said, my name is an unusual name, and I said, keep a record of it, and they look it up on the internet. Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall. I said it slowly and informatively to these people, and people were writing it down. And I said, we're here with the cure for AIDS. Well, that went over like a lead balloon so far as the guy who was running it was concerned. And I said, well, I'll go and get the equipment and I'll show you how it's done. Well, I went to the room, came back with the equipment. By then it all had gone sour because the man in charge didn't want to risk his Mercedes-Benz because they make money out of this sort of thing. And this is a conference
It's
that
an
people
industry.
coming all over the country. And then no one's interested in curing AIDS or anything else.
They all live off the contributions and donations
it's
from
amazing.
foundations all around the world and the research grants, etc.
There is a certain understanding in that you've gone from a jungle where your daily life is very, very dangerous, if you like, in getting food, getting mosquitoes biting you and everything else with malaria and so forth. And then you've worked your way out and you've become a doctor perhaps or whatever, and finally you're a politician or whatever. And now you've got a Mercedes-Benz, lovely big house, and everything's very expensive up there. And suddenly someone comes along and going to take it away from you because we've got the cure for the very thing that you don't want to be the harbinger of death for your lifestyle. That's a cure. So while we was unable to do lots of things when we were there originally, we did manage to cure many people, and it spread like wildfire.
We treated hundreds.
And the reputation is still there. People still hear about the miracle water that we bring, and they are still looking for it. So with this trip, out of all of the strange things that happen, we can't even list it. It is so weird. But we end up talking to two men from a small town in the centre of, which had never, one guy had never been to Port Moresby at all,
Yes.
been on a plane. And suddenly they are watching a video of me as I'm snoring on the bed across.
Well, let me
It's
explain.
that story.
I'll back up and explain. You've got to have the story. You can't appreciate anything unless you get the actual story. Let me just see. Yes, Herod, we're on live now. I said, yes. He's asking me, are you on live now? Yes, Herod.
And he's
You're
listening
in there.
to us. Huh?
Somebody, if you can hear us, please let me know. There's nothing in the chat room. Yes. Now, yes. Yeah, okay, what happened with the story? All right, due to a gigantic, from our perspective, screw up, total, absolute screw up, disobedience. And when we got to the bottom of it all, totally stunned and angry. Remember, it was Adam who disobeyed God and he lost paradise. Well, this is what it was that we felt was going down. But out of it, because of this monumental screw-up, and one being in the place that he wasn't supposed to be. He was supposed to be in a completely different place altogether, and he would have been backwards and forwards already a couple of times doing what he was supposed to do, the instructions from us. However, he ends up in this place in the middle of Papua New Guinea, and he's standing there looking at photographs of bits and pieces, and these two men approach him. Now, somewhere along the line, there was an American on the scene, and our man said to this American, is this true? And the American said, yes, I've had it proved. It's real. So based on that...
This is a gold, what appeared to be a gold...
a kilo. Anyway, it was a...
Well, total bullshit.
It was total bullshit, but the American said, yes, I've had it proven. He actually drilled some out and taken it back to the USA and says it's 100%, you know, it's proven. So these two men approach our man, and our man, seriously, he just hijacks them. He says, come with me. Well, that coming with me was across the other side of the country, a 35-minute flight in an aeroplane. That, you know, I've managed to rake up the airfare for us. We're on the spot, expecting our man only to come back. Remember, really, really tight budget. Unbelievable. I have to tell you. But anyway, so these two men come back believing what they have is real gold with them. And the plan was that we'd have it cashed out for them at the local buyers, because up in the bush they're given a maximum 50% of what it's worth. They're being ripped off royally, but in order to make some quick kina so they can eat and do all this if they end up going to the grocery store, otherwise they live on their own produce out of the village. Anyway, so these two men come along with our guy and end up meeting the Christ. What's it all? Well, they were captive with us for 3 days and 4 nights. Now, what happened was that these men got to know Yahweh and myself intimately, because now we were responsible for their accommodation in the same place, which was a total dive that we were staying in. It was clean, but it was still a dive. You know, Yahweh does enjoy a hot shower occasionally, not just a horse bath with cold shower, and at least the toilets worked. At the first place we were staying at, the toilet didn't work, and there was no hot water. Anyway.
You got to know it.
These two men,
you know it.
Septimus, his name, Latin for 7, Septimus, and Val. Val is like his nickname. 2 humble, meek men of the bush, farmers and bushmen. And Septimus is the landowner of where he is. And his friend is the one that was employed by him to help move what they think is gold. Well, of course, the gold is nothing but brass. We proved that for them. And they had the 1 kilogram and then the other 6 kilograms. It was brass. Lovely piece of brass. I wanted to bring it home with me as a souvenir. Could have used it as a weight. I grew very attached to it. But when our man first showed it to me, I looked at it and I said to Yahweh the first night, I said, that looks like brass to me. And of course my instinct was absolutely right. Even on the way to having it proven that it was brass, I said, she's going to say it's brass. And of course she did. The experts said it did. But anyway, more than that, it was the gold, as Yahweh keeps saying, is in the souls of the one who find him. So these 2 meek men of the bush, and they all know their scriptures up there because it's 96% Christian, and so they know the scriptures. They've heard the preaching over and over, and they all know who Jesus is and God and all the rest of it. And of course, they've had their repentance day declared. 26th of August 2011 was the first one. Nothing happened. And in their mind, nothing happened, but the churches gathered together to pray that God would come and lead their nation, because their leaders are so corrupt. They all know the corruption of their leaders. So what happens? These 2 men are just dumbfounded. They are meek. To be meek, it means you are teachable. Doesn't matter the colour of your skin. Teachable. Well, they were captive and enthralled, as of course as the comforter that Yah is today. And myself, we are the teachers, teaching them all things. And of course, awakening them to the danger of the Jews who call themselves Jews and are not, but are the Khazars. You know the whole ball and wax.
The Jews have even taken over security at the airport.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. What is it? G4 security at the tiny little airport, international airport that is in Port Moresby. Hello? Why? Because they want to make sure that none of the gold escapes them. They will steal it. They have the government since Michael Samari in 1989. You heard me read it to you. This covenant that they've cut with Israel to tithe to the God of Israel. So they're sending all of their gold to Lucifer, who is the God of Israel. All right, but these 2 boys, the treasure is in the boys. They learned all about Yahweh. And I think the most gratifying moment in all the years that I found Yahweh and then the work began, because I am Martha. Martha does the work. And explaining, as the mother does to a child in simple terms, so that the children can understand the delusion, first of all, the great deception, and the mother explains the father to the children. That's usually the way it goes. Anyway, these boys, my sons, our sons, they were sitting on, Yah was just tired, conked out on the room. The bed is actually your wooden slats, but it was about a 2-inch thick. No, it wasn't 4 inches thick. It was a 2-inch thick foam mattress on these wooden slats. A slat was missing. And so there were 2 beds in the room, so we got the other one, a single bed, and put it on. So Yah, because Yah is bony. He's heavy and he's bony, and anything hard he feels and can't sleep. So Yah's now lying down on the bed that is just the slats. He's got a pillow underneath him because there's no mattress on it. We're sitting on the bigger bed, the boys beside me. Val one side, Perry the other side on the right hand, and Septimus on the other side of Val. And we are watching the videos of the Shroud of Turin videos, the marvellous works that Pierre have done, the overlay. Well, the boys were stunned. They are not used to being able to see anything from the internet, of course. This was all on YouTube. So we watched, and do you know, it is the only time that I have actually had people with us listening to us where, first of all, they are silent and they are absolutely glued. And when Perry's phone rang, it was somebody wanting to speak to him. So Perry's having to have this conversation, trying to be away from us as the one that has called is continuing the conversation. Val looks to me and he's tapping me on the arm with great respect, and he's indicating to me to please tell Perry to get out of the room. go and have his conversation over the room, because it was interfering with the holy and sacred moment that these boys were experiencing within themselves as they are glued to watching the YouTube and the Shroud of Turin images overlaid Yah. And they were all more than 8 minutes long, and they are glued. But Yah is stretched out on the bed, and he's sound asleep because we're exhausted over the intensity of our time there. He's stretched out, but he's got his mouth open and he's slightly snoring. And so the boys are looking at the shroud. They're looking over at Yah, and I said, the only difference is today, boys, that he sleeps with his mouth open. Looking at the shroud image with the mouth open. Anyway, it was an astonishing moment. So that as they were captive prisoners, and we were captive too, because we had absolutely no funds. We had laid it all out to bring together what we thought was plan A and was going to get everybody moving and out of the places that we're in. Well, of course, it just stretched to the nth degree. Well, well, it wasn't me that pulled the rabbit out of the hat. I just said to Yah, this is what I'm going to do. And I walked up to the front office. I go, listen, this is the situation in da-da. They go, I go, da-da. And, we can't pay your bill.
Well, that's right. However, we figured it out.
However, it was all figured out, and I was able to get the
point
boys
is,
back.
I want to mention that the area that they are in is Anglican, and as a result of that, the Anglicans would never recognise the Shroud of Turin because it's owned by the Catholics. So these boys had no idea of the burial cloth of Jesus. But when they see the overlay and they see my face, and it's going from my face back to the crowd and back to and my face again and back to the shroud, well, it blew them away. And I explained what the shroud was all about prior to this, of looking it up on the internet. So, in other words, it's available on the internet. Well, it wasn't, though it is on my computers, this was live feed.
It was from the YouTube.
On a very, very
suspect internet connection.
So it's available all right across the country. And even up there, you can still get the internet. If you've got radio, telephone, you can still get internet with a dongle. However, I think they had an internet shop, didn't they, in the little town they come from?
No.
But as it turns out, shall I mention the enormous amount that's available?
No. Well, we're not even going to go
there. There's another
there.
thing to go there for, which turned out to be another strange manoeuvre, but as it turned out, we can't talk about it at the moment.
No. It was all so strange for us. But, in review, when we get back here, back to sanity, where we can think things through and realise what has actually taken place. Now, it was either... and I said to you, well, what has been exposed is really the devil in the pot has been flushed out. But it seems like the angels have completely taken over to redirect Plan A to end up being what it is now, which is enormous. But at the same time, it's the boys from the bush, their own village is 2,000 people. And they want us to take the cures up there because they're still up in the highlands and the villages. There's still those with AIDS and malaria. They want us to go back. Now, Val himself was sitting in our room and started sneezing, and sniffling, that kind of thing. And I just gave him a cup of silver water that I brewed and said, here, drink this. And in his words, it went away. And this was the next day when I turned around and said, he said, that went away. And they asked about it. Show us how to make the silver water, because they took a bottle of it back all ready to give to Septimus's mother and others. So that's the plan. We are going back this time to their village area, and they've got the real stuff that they have to dig up out of the ground and bring, because they want us to be the one on their behalf to bring it down into the town areas to get a decent price for it, and we'll just take our small fee off the top so that we can continue to finance the equipment and what it is that we started 7 years ago, getting the capsules up there, the calcium hypochlorite, all that kind of thing. So turns out our original plan from 7 years ago fell over through a thief. And everything has been flushed out. It's almost like the old has stopped. Even the car broke down at the door. The car that we
gate that
opens
into the compound where the motel was, or hotel. And it completely carked it. So
Oh, totally
we
dead.
just got it parked and that was it.
Totally dead. It was unbelievable. Actually, when we got to the airport, we thought, this is it, we can't move again. And then we had one more trip away and then back again to pick the boys up with their kilogram of brass. It's fun as a circus.
See, what you don't do is you go up in the bush and someone walks up to you with a brass bar and then pay their fares back down one way, down to Port Moresby on the hope that this brass bar is going to be gold.
Which is
Right.
what
And
the American...
if you look at it, you say, that's a piece of brass, right? I mean, some people are so stupid, it defies imagination. And the one that said it was gold was our buyer, which doesn't really make us too confident in his ability to discern between brass and bloody
with a
gold.
heck of a lot of experience.
Oh,
Anyway,
dear me.
one thing after, it's typical Papuan style. But at the end of the day, it seems like it's going to be bigger than we thought it was through Plan A, and it will mean another trip up there in weeks to come. In the meantime, now Mark Saxon, thank you for being in the chat room. You were the only one there today. The others were all around earlier, and they've all disappeared from Facebook and everything. I don't know why. Our Adam, last night was commenting. I was talking to our Adam through Skype, and he was saying, like the outside looking in, especially when we were in Europe, he just realised how hollow-netted we are. If you don't know what hollow-net is, it means that the ones that control the internet, who are the Jews, you know that, they literally shut down the world outside, and so we're operating in our own little world, bubble, if you like, thinking all is well and it can get out to multitudes when no, they've literally cut the outside off. And Adam was saying last night he realised how really hollow-netted we are, you know. Millions of views everywhere else on this, that, the other, the stupidest little, but not... and it feels more like it is today because the others were all around. They're all excited to come on over to be back live now. And now just Mark is on, and we're so grateful that you are there, Mark. And others who are listening live, and I don't know that you are, thank you for doing that, because it's not until after the show that I realise that there might be 20 people listening live when there's 6 in the chat room. So, now, we've received more letters.
We've got an R2D2.
Is that
$1
R2?
bill.
Simon,
This
little boy
Simon sent this to me.
Yeah.
Lovely little fella.
This came from Simon in Sunny Isles, Florida. We got your letter, Simon, inside the post pack, and you addressed it to Brian Go Lightly Marshall. And Simon just said 3 random things from his bedroom. That's an R2D2, is it?
R2D2.
So we got your R2D2.
Star Wars.
And this sticker, I'll have to find a special place. That's on the back of the sticker. He says 3 random things from my bedroom. And then he's got quantum with smiley faces and bonus mail. Now what's interesting is that Simon sent her a $1 bill and yarded the numbers on the bill. And it means perfect. Is that the 195?
Yeah.
At the end. The 195 at the end means perfect, and of course it is perfect. And exactness, perfect manner. So Simon, that was in a perfect manner that you chose 3 random things from your room to send to us, and we got them.
What's interesting is what else is in the room. If this is just 3 random, right, there must be a whole pile of other stuff too.
Now, of course, this is a bee. Well, the sticker is a bee. And B, we've talked much about the B for Brian. And it looks like I think that's a G. But it looks like this pipe, and on the end of it is a hive. And, of course, the nectar that the bee has collected, his tail is dropping it into the hive. So, and G, of course, Go Lightly. So I'll find a place for the sticker. Thank you, Simon, R2D2. And we have from Gabe in Rome. Gabe, we got your postcard, which is Pope Benedict kissing the forehead of a very small baby. He's holding the head of a baby, kissing the forehead. Unfortunately, the stamp is Franciscus, Francesco, but you can't help that. Nobody can help that. And it's addressed to Yahweh, Lord Jesus Christ, Brian, Leonard Golightly Marshall, at our address. He actually says, Hail Trinity Lee, full of grace. Hail Alaska, full of grace. The mothers, the reincarnated mothers, Trinity Lee being the Holy Mother Mary, and Alaska being Daphne in this life. Wishing you all the best with Vatican III and the wood chipper business. As we drive down Sawmill Road to go to a little, we call it our secret place, just a very lovely cafe in an area we call our secret place.
Beautiful area, yeah.
Peace and love, Gabriel. We got that. And good work in Rome there, Gabe.
Now, he sent us a video of him walking home over several blocks.
It's been posted to Facebook. Everybody's seen it. Yeah. The orbs?
I'm sorry, I spoke.
No, just clarifying because...
By 3 orbs walking as he's walking along, and he's got a video of them. So it's show the people where to find it, because there could be someone out there listeing and actually didn't know
I'll get the
about
link.
it. And that is why I brazenly mentioned it.
All right, I'll get the link for it. Herod's laughing out loud. Now this is interesting. Is everybody else, he said, now, okay, remember what I just talked about? It doesn't seem to work. This is Herod wanting to know if we're on live. He said it doesn't seem to work. I'll try something, trying the other CPU. It didn't work. Is everybody else on chat? Maybe it's not on live broadcast. Sad. Laugh out loud. Ash, I'm still not able to see the live stream. Everything is happening. Everything on our end is happening. And yes, the microphone, everything is happening. It's on live. We're on air 27. And Mark is the only one over in the chat room. Just let me leave a message from him, because this must be what is happening to the others.
Is Mark responding?
Yes, Mark is responding. He can hear us. I'll just tell him that only Mark is in the chat room. Very unusual. Okay, so that's what's going on there. Patrick Davis, the chat room. No, Patrick Davis, the same. And the chat room, I posted the chat room URL to the Facebook. So people are having trouble getting on. It's just not happening. Let me do it again over here. Live link. Marshall Hour. You should be able to.
So back to our little village in New Guinea. It is all accessible from the entire country by air at a lower cost than coming to Port Moresby. And they can be in and out, get treated. One day you're out and you're cured of AIDS, right?
No, it's not happening. It's not showing up live.
What, our show?
Yeah, the show. There should be, see, this should come up live here now. It's not.
So nobody's hearing it?
Well, just Mark.
How could that be?
I don't know. Mark Saxon, are you still there? Send me a message saying that you can still hear us.
Well, if that's the case, I'm also going to lie down.
I'll send you a message. No. Yes, what I went up into the freedom. Okay, yes, what I did was I went up into the freedom talk. Okay, can you post the link? Nobody else is able to get on. All right, Mark, it seems the others are having a terrible time. They can't get on through the usual method. And the chat room URL, may I have... Oh, let me see what I can do for these guys over here. Somebody else. Ashley. Okay. I have the chat room URL. Posted it. Thank you for that. That's because that's not turning up at all. Mark, here, can you post that into my Facebook? I can't actually pick up the link from the chat room. Can you post the link? Because I can't even pick it up from here on the console. Can you post it into my Facebook message? And I'll paste it for the others. Please. Okay. I'll just send a message to this one. Yes, Hirad is saying, I hate it. Was looking forward to it because I missed you extra from the trip. He keeps refreshing the page, but there's no luck. Not on this. I have to tell. Not on this end either. Let's see what Mark Saxon's able to do. Thank you, Mark. Copy. Paste. Here it is. Okay, I've got the link. Now I'll paste the link on my page. Paste. All right. All right, that's posted. Okay, here it is in, finally. Wow, what a pain for anybody listening. Thank you, Mark. Here it is in. So I've posted it now. Hopefully the others can get in. Even on this end, the link wasn't there either. Let me check what's going on here. All right, okay, good. Got it. All right, okay. So we've got Simon's letter and Gabe's postcard from Rome. And the third piece of mail that we have received. Thank you, Hero. Thanks for posting it. We got Adam Yates' letter. Thank you, Adam. In the great big envelope. Now these, of course, these stickers, I realised these came from Dex. Dex had these made up.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Now Adam, again, addressed his to YHWH, Lord Jesus Christ, Brian Let It Go Lightly Marshall. And then on the back he's got stickers. Brian Let It Go Lightly Marshall is Christ. Defeat Zionism with love. And then this sticker, and I saw this over, it was Dex who had these made up. Love, Brian Let It Go Lightly Marshall, YHWH. And that does look like you, doesn't it? Yes, it looks like a dark-skinned Yahweh with his bushy moustache. You look like from the series of Adventures in Odyssey, Mr. Whittaker. Mr. Whittaker was the teacher in the Adventures of Odyssey. Now, inside Adam's envelope, he has signed VAT3 and ICC. Adam Yates, the 2nd of July 2015. So, and a letter from Adam. He says, Dear Bruce and Sheila. Now what's funny is we have to travel the Bruce Highway all the time to get to, we're going to change the name to the Brian Highway. We're in Papua New Guinea and we want to have a look at hopefully a place we thought we might move into, upgraded from having no hot water and no toilet working. When the manager was Australian, whose name just happened to be Bruce, we looked at him and said, we're going to change the Bruce Highway. All right, dear Bruce and Sheila, just a very quick note to say that you have given me a growing feeling over the last few months that I could not put my finger on until this week, and that is a feeling of being a child, which is something I had never known before. My childhood was full of adult issues and emotion. I love feeling speechless, love feeling that I am the pupil and not the teacher, as was always predominant in the past. My chains are broken and molten in the pot. Everlasting love for you and the new kingdom. Yours, Adam. Thank you, Adam. You put things so simply. So simply.
So simply, and then go and pull through.
Yes. Adam, your posts. I'm so glad that you are mature enough of mind, Adam, that when I said, Andrew, hello, John Lynch, finally you made it in. They're in the chat room. Andrew, and John Lynch. Hello, all of you. Adam Yates. Yes, this is what it's all about. You do awesome work, and when you write so simply and plainly that a child can understand it, that's what it's all about. And when I say to you, as you write to me, things that go through your mind, that wonderful mind of you, and when I say, Adam, that is bullshit, you can take it. And bring understanding, new light to your mind.
I think you mentioned this morning, which might be worth explaining, about the Asherah and the Yahweh relationship, of how out of the side of Yahweh comes Asherah. This is what you get in the blood and water that comes out of the side of Jesus with the spear on the left side into the heart. And then you've got the same thing with Adam lounging about wanting a mate, so he's taken out of his side as the female. So it's a parable. It is like. So what you have is a male figure creating the female for reproduction, and that is the Asherah figure. Now, the Asherah is very well known in the Palestine, which the Ashkenazi Jews are trying to say is their territory, when they're not even from the area. I mean, it's amazing to me. Oh, there's lovely people though, aren't they, the Jews? You've got to
Wedge.
Oh, yeah, they are great people.
We've got a story to tell too about the airport. We'll go on.
Well, there's such lovely people that took my mind of it.
You're talking about Asherah out of the side.
Yes, out of the side is the female that is to reproduce the male and female sexually of the human race. And that's what that's all about. So you have the God being male, and Y chromosome on the Shroud of Turin and Y chromosome in my blood, etc., is the Father, the Comforter, and the necessity of the cross to bring the Holy Ghost into a XX chromosome back to Eve, back to Asherah, right? And that's what it's all about. So that the female brings forth the Son of God, which is the Y, which is God himself. That's a little bit confusion about Jesus and God. It's actually the same soul-wise, different time-wise. So here's you've got God coming down and via the Holy Ghost conceiving in the Virgin. So you have an XX chromosome and 23 of them, and a one single Y chromosome for the male participant in this conception, which is God the Father. And God the Father by the cross comes out of the side with the spear and the blood bleeding out throughout the entire body of Jesus, who is God himself in another form of the flesh, releasing the soul. So therefore the flesh of Jesus dies, because the driving force of all humanity is, of course, the soul. In this case, the soul is the Father, which is male. So it is removed by a bleeding death on the cross to resurrect later on through the Shroud of Turin, and then that brings to life the body of flesh with the soul on the outside. And that's why it's a white garment. Isaiah 63 is worth a read, and it is explaining how when God comes back to the earth today, he can't find anyone worth saving, because there's flesh. Inside their flesh is this sour grapes, if you like, by analogy, the blood. The soul of Cain is in all of humanity. And it's a bad word, humanity. It should be all of inhumanity. And they are to be destroyed. And they are crushed. And being the height of human beings up to the horse's bridle, this is his blood all jammed in together in Armageddon, in Megiddo, which is all part of Israel today, right? So it's a good analogy. In the bed of this valley is all of the human beings that are not worthy and are crushed by the one man coming back to the earth, which is the true God, which is the soul of myself, which is Yahweh, which is the original, that out of the side of my side, like the Jesus on the cross scenario, or the Adam scenario where Eve comes out the side, then you have, prior to that, the female soul coming out of the soul of the Father. That is why the Father is Y and the X is female. The mitochondria of the first female. That's represented by my little sausage pie here.
Now, just to clarify too,
it is just a little sausage pie.
Guys, you might know more. I was looking for one particular video that's now probably might even be 5 years old. Time has gone so quickly. And it was where, again, it's my writing and explaining Asherah to the world, but it's a scrolling video. I think it was Joel who set it to work as he does, explaining Asherah. And Asherah being the light that comes from within the darkness. Now, if you think of Yahweh being the dark matter that holds the universe together, the inexplicable that science cannot explain, the Yahweh, YHWH, holding everything together, and Asherah being the visible light of the universe, which is only about 10% anyway, but coming from within. In the Essene tradition, they understood that the Godhead was Father and Mother, because from within himself, you see, everything began with the thought of Yahweh as that baby trapped within the womb of darkness. All intelligence,
That's what I remember.
The brain trapped within the womb of darkness. How am I going to get out of here? And the loneliness and the realization that the intellect, the intelligence, the brain has to think of a way to get himself out of the womb, which is a place of total darkness and loneliness. So from within himself, and it's actually the Essene account of creation that does describe how this takes place. So from within himself, so in the beginning was actually thought. This is the intelligence of Yahweh, the brain of the universe, if you like. And so from within himself, he thought and had to bring forth what first from within himself was the mother. She is the light from within him. So out of the darkness came the light, and that had a sound in the instant of the creation, because as Yahweh has described over and over, like that fizzy bottle, the creation happens.
What you're saying, like, you just can't say fizzy bottle. If you was to imagine that all things in a visible star universe that you see all occurred at the same time.
And when you take the lid off, the fizzy bottle, remember? Keep going. That's the way you've described it many times.
I'm trying to.
Go.
If you've got a bottle of soda water, you can see through it, right? And then you release the gas, the pressure. The pressure drops universally across the liquid, and the little bubbles form all at the same time. So that's like how the stars came into existence. They universally come into existence at the same time, because you can't see God walking around and say, well, I'll create a star over there. Oh, there's another one, nice spot, I'll put one there. What about over here and put another one? Hey, that could use another star down there, right, put another one. Like 70 trillion stars later, how about we do it all at the same time? Right? And this is what happened. Creation is a formation of matter within time and space. And in that, to make it, you've got to have a difference between a polarity, which is really nothing. A magnetic field, for example, requires a magnet to keep the magnetic fields apart, so to speak. So the mass in between creates the energy that becomes the EMF force, electromagnetic force, that is trying to get to each other, but it's got to go away from the central mass and come back into the other end of the bar magnet, for example. So what really is an atom? It's a magnetic field. So the magnetic field is spaced by what? Well, at the centre of the atom is a little black hole, so to speak, which all matter pours through. And the same thing happens at the centre of the earth or the centre of the sun. Matter is coming from the heavenly realm of thought, timelessness, into time. So matter is formed, and this requires a moment that has become from the heavenly realm into the earthly realm, physical realm, to then be pushed apart by time. And the atoms then spin with electrons as the electron is trying to get back into where it came from. Can't do that, so you then have an atom. Put two of these together, and what do you got? Helium. The first one is hydrogen. Then you put helium. Now, if you go back the other way down to hydrogen, you get the atomic weight of hydrogen, and you multiply it by pi, and you get 3168. Hello? Keep up.
In the beginning.
In the beginning.
Mm.
So it all starts with hydrogen on the atomic scale, and then you keep on pushing these atoms together. Now you get to the sun, for example, because of the enormous pressures in there, you got hydrogen, then forms helium, then forms blah blah blah, out to cut the carbon and right on out to iron. And iron, where is iron? 26 is the atomic. That is hema in your blood. Without the iron in the hema in your blood, so you therefore, we're creating a environment that is all happening at the same time. It's not the sun comes first and then the earth. It's all got to happen at the same time because it's coming from heaven. And then you get your Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, holy be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So what's it mean? Well, that was said 2,000 years ago, so you've got to think about it now. Thy kingdom has come. It has come to the earth. You have come back to the earth many times, and now you're here for judgment. So, this is why the earth is such a terrible place, because all evil that's ever been on the earth by man's own doing is here for judgment. And they aren't giving up easy. They think they can win. This is why we have the chosen people. Lovely people, though, aren't they?
Oh, the swedge. Rhymes with reg and wedges.
And wedges.
Yeah,
I like wedges.
sweet and sour sauce, sour cream.
So how do you make a wedge? You take a piece of potato and you put it in boiling oil.
Boiling oil, right? But you've chopped it first.
Got to chop it up first.
Chop it up first. And
no, I mean, that is really a parable of what's going to happen to these lovely people. Now, in New Guinea, the new covenant they've got with these people up there is so pathetic.
Oh dear, oh dear. I told the boys that when I read this, I cried. And they understood. They understand because they can see it for themselves. This is the update on our trip.
Tithe all their money to the God of Israel.
All their resources, all their resources.
Donated to Israel.
The gold, all of their minerals, the copra, the coffee. The coffee is wonderful. The tea, all of it. But the update, we talked about the old man that we met who gave us all the information I read about this new covenant. And he updated us. Since 2000, he and his group of peoples that have invested with this Jewish rabbi out of Brisbane, whose name
Bruce
is Francis Gary Moore.
This English name.
Yeah, totally English, anglicised name as they do. More, it's up to at least 1 ton. That is 1,000 kilograms of gold that they have given this Jew, this rabbi.
They're going to get back
on the promise that they would have this paper instrument. That when they cash in the instrument, which the old man did while we were there the last time, he was supposed to get 5 million kin. It's run out. Okay, our camera stopped, so we'll just keep talking to the radio. The radio people. I'm glad you guys are in the chat room now.
How are we going for time?
Well, we've still got 10 minutes. But anyway, yeah, so Irua told us that one friend of his gave 200 kilograms, another one gave 150 kilograms. Irua himself personally only gave 6 kilograms of gold, and from that he was supposed to get back 5 million kina when he cashed in his instrument. And he said that none of them have been able, since 2000, none of them have got a single cent, single kina back, and a lot of them have died. These investors from 22 different provinces, a lot of them have already died, having not got 1 single cent back from their investment given to the rabbi in Brisbane by the name of Francis Gary Moore, who the old man Irua had been talking with weekly, and then when we told him the truth the last time he knew he was hearing the truth, what Irua wanted to do...
Oh, now what?
It's all right. Yas complained about the video camera. It's suddenly gone off. It's dead. Completely. And it's actually plugged in. Is it? Is it plugged in?
Ah! You set it up and didn't plug it in.
Okay, so we're out of... Oh, that's why.
Well,
Simple fix. All right. It helps when you've got plugged into the power source. Anyway, so that's what... Yeah, so all these people have died and nobody's got a single... Which is what we told them. You will not get a single thing. Nothing.
you cannot trust a...
They have to lie, steal and destroy. It's part of their... it's their religion. It is their Bible from the Talmud. So that's the update there. But now they know that God has come to lead the nation. The word will be spreading up through the bush, and that's what it's all about. We will cure that nation, just as we said we would do 7 years ago.
Right, we're back in business. Now, anyone out there who are camera buffs, there's one rule of thumb. Don't let your wife touch it.
I tell him not to. Don't give it to me. You know what I'm like. All right, now, over onto other matters too. I wanted to read some messages from Joy. Joy, who is now filled with joy.
Joy to the world?
Joy to the world, because she
Hello,
has
Joy.
found us.
Glad to meet you, love.
She has found us. So let me go back to that message. And I told Joy that I would read her message. Oh, here we go. What's that, babe?
I'll just check the camera.
Yes,
again.
check the camera. Make sure it's going. Here it is. Okay.
It's going, isn't it?
I think so. It's green. Now, now it is.
Right.
You've got to turn it on. So plugging it in helps, but turning it on is more still.
Hello, we're back.
All right. So I had this word from Joy in my message, bursting with joy. This was after I accepted the friend request. There were a bunch that came in. And just to let you know, I never accept single men friend requests. And it's been more and more lately. They're just people not attached to anybody. And
You can block them, can't you?
I just don't friend them. And then
Yeah, but there might be some poor soul that needs to join us.
if they find us through the others, if they come in connected through that, then I know it's real. Otherwise, it's a trap. So Joy says,
Jewish people.
bursting with joy, tears rolling down my eyes. I'm home and very humbled. My emotions have gone mental on me, and I'm having the most wonderfly warm panic attack. Oh my days, she says. Warm, not warm. So she wrote, she did a typo. I said, "Good girl, you correct your typos just as I do."
No, I don't bother. Men don't bother.
No, that's right. It's like men don't eat quiche. Men don't correct their typos.
Men don't eat quiche and you don't correct typos. It's as simple as that.
She says, "I feel like a child all overwhelmed." And then I go...
The Jewish people say that now and then. I feel like a child now and then.
Yeah, right. I drive Jan nuts having to correct everything where he does not edit anything he writes. And then I go, "Hello, Joy. I'm very pleased to meet you through Facebook message." And she says, "Mother Martha," then in brackets. She does the ... like me. I do 3 usually. She does 5. She says, "Bows in Indian pose. Thank you. All my life I've waited him. Father, all my life I've been with him. I'm so overwhelmed right now. I feel like a small drop of sea that has just emerged with the ocean. With my soul, I honor you. I said, welcome home. And then I just say, tell me something of yourself, Joy. And she says, how to converse with the greatness of you, feeling shy. Something of me, smile. I said, just relax, be yourself. We are not into worship. Start with how you found us. She said, Cilla Page. I said, good. More and more are coming in through that page. I just, to get the conversation going, where were you born and what was the date? She says, shot out at me with Yah's face. I burst out crying. I opened the page and just knew I was home. Okay, about me. I had
what page are we talking about?
Cilla's page.
Ah.
Yeah.
Lovely Cilla.
Yeah. Okay, about me. I had a crazy life with many, many lessons. I've been in some dark places that should have made me fold, but I always came out stronger, more open, more aware. And then I was born in Coventry on July the 8th, 1962. I said, love it. Cilla, I remember, was born July the 6th, but Cilla in 1967. And yes, the ones that do come home have been through many trials and been through hell, mostly. And she says, I believe in love, the energy of love. I've spent 20 years of my life coming and going to India. I said to her, I love India, the people, their way. It is the religion that needs to go. And then she said, where I learned a deep, deep inner peace. I like to say I am in touch with God. I said, the angels are in control. They know who is who in the zoo and make sure the ones who make it home do. She says, yes, things are changing though. People are opening. I say, yes. She says, yes, I believe, I trust, I know. I'm so happy right now. I said, it is only through these times of gross darkness that people will be desperate enough to lay down everything they have learned to become like a small child. Only then can they see or enter into the kingdom of God, which comes upon the earth because he is here. She says, yes, yes, yes. I said, have you been able to find much of the many videos and teachings that are all over the YouTube? It is the internet that is the like lightning, which flashes the news and image of God all over the earth or under heaven. She said, no, I haven't seen any. When you have the connection I've had with Jesus, yeah, I don't need to. And then she explains, I was very sick as a child, in a coma for 6 years. I spent my time with Jesus. He used to tell me stories. I've never let him go, you see. And then I explained, I said, yes, that would have been the Archangel Michael you were with. He is the heavenly presence of Jesus and is in Yah's blood today. Yah today, who was in the blood of Jesus, his soul released at the cross, is the old man, the Holy Ghost, who is the comforter that teaches all things to a very lost mankind. She says, thank you. And then she says, I'm spinning again. Sorry, please bear with me. Bliss is overwhelming sometimes. I said, I know what you mean. I went through it when I found Yah. That was my job, to find him. It took me 9 years of looking constantly on the earth for the man in the flesh. And then she says, and there is a very noisy helicopter flying around, making so much noise. It was actually 1 minute past 1 a.m. When she heard this helicopter. I say, that is weird at that time of the morning. She says, yes, sent to distract, maybe, I feel. And then she says, not a chance, with a smiley face. This is my cloud, and I'm home. I say, good for you. She says, because of you, I'm so grateful. I ask her, do you mind if I read your messages on the show to help encourage the others who have been fighting the battle with us now, some of them for years? And she says, I bow my head, my words are your words, and just to call her by her name, Joy. And she wants to celebrate the joy of finding home, the drop of sea finding the ocean. I'm in floods of joyous tears. I'm home. Yes, you are, Joy, and so pleased we are to be with you home. Let me see.
You correct any mistakes as you go on?
No. I just sent her the link. I posted the link before. I hope she got it off the Facebook. All right. Okay. And Ashley, if you're listening, darling, yes, she missed us. Hope Yara's feeling better and you are doing well. Yara was fine. We were only gone a week, and Yara came back, but his feet, as I explained, hurt. Now, when his feet hurt, it feels like nails driven through them again, doesn't it? You explain.
Well, it's a very strange thing. It comes on suddenly, and it is just like if you have a nail physically driven through your foot. It is that quick and painful. And then the pains shoot up the leg and up into the body itself. And it's quite overbearing. And it always lines up with something that has gone down somewhere in the world that is important so far as our progress is concerned. And it's almost like highlighting each of the pains of the body of the cross in another way on this earth is now coming back as a lifetime of suffering for many people. Take up your cross and follow me. And in my case, it's been, of course, 70 years of this mental crucifixion is far worse than hanging on the cross for 3 hours and bleeding to death. And it's painful at the time, but I, in this life, have endured such pains, especially through the injuries that the beast gave me in my back. That was 25 years of excruciating pain, and finally overcame that. And it was all done through a metamorphosis, if you like, of saying that you reach a level of suffering, and then you move to the next level, another direction, if you like. And it's only just recently the pains in the feet, in the last 12 months anyhow, come on me and then go away. And last night, laying in bed, the pains were shooting up my legs. And then this morning I walked downstairs and after having a shower, and the pain started to go away. And at this point in time, it's only slightly felt in my left foot. In 7 days ago or less, it was the right foot, which I could hardly walk on. Strange, isn't it? So there were stages a year ago where it was my left shoulder.
And your neck.
My neck for
used to
years.
bother you.
So it's almost as if it's a shaking off of this rigor mortis, so to speak. But it's all for a reason. It all lines up. When we finally work it out and we work out what it is, then it goes. So it's to say, the agony of it is to say, look, you better find out what this is and put your mind in. Because this morning I was laying in bed and we spoke about it and I told you what it was. And it started to dissipate. As soon as I thought it up during the night, what it must be. And that's what this next step is in New Guinea.
Things are always
so we
together.
can't really talk about it at the moment, but it is extraordinary to say the least. So it's the end of the beast. Simple as that. We're done.
All right. Okay, well, we're out of time. We're over time. It's past that time. Yeah, we have wound our way through this show. Moments of silence as I'm trying to find out what's going on and typing to people instead.
What do you think the problem was with this?
Oh, I don't know. Look, let me see if I can.
Netting us again?
Desperately trying to. Yeah. See this. If I refresh this, it should.
You don't
come
mean a lovely Joe's, do you?
Oh well, you know, the swedge. Let's see if it's there now. But Mark's over the day with the link through the Spreaker. No, still not happening. There's no live connection for us.
So who are they listening to then?
Well, they are, but from this end on because Mark sent the live link that I posted to the Facebook.
You're not getting a live connection.
No, I can't. Like, it doesn't give me the option.
But they are hearing us.
Yes, because they've got the link on their end.
Oh.
So here it says he's been working on the health protocol and making lots of breakthroughs with understanding the complexity of the body and the resilience. Yes, it all boils down to garbage in, garbage out. right? Doesn't
Absolutely.
it? For a computer and for the human body. Garbage in, garbage out. Here it says he's on a drink late. All right, guys, we're going to end it there. We'll be back tomorrow. And we'll splice together the video that conked out because I didn't plug the camera in. But it went. Anyway, out of here. All right. So hello to Joy. And there's somebody else came in. I don't know how serious the other one is. It could have all been just a... Don't know. We'll work our way through it. But just beware of the many that do come in and try to egg you on and lead you up a garden path, seeming like they're interested when in fact they're Jews behind the scenes. So not to worry. We're out of here. I'm going to play...
The chosen ones.
The chosen ones. The chosen wedges. Sour cream. And sweet chili sauce dip for the
For another
wedges.
Jew and a baby they have here in Australia.
All right.
Referring to a Jewfish.
Here we go.
The Go Lightly Martial Art on freedomtalkradio.net.
And thank you everybody over in the chat room. You saved the day. And we'll be back tomorrow. So yeah, great big later gators to everybody. Right, bye.